Hey, how's it going everyone? Teysind here, and today I'm going to do a different video. I'm actually going to take you into a little bit of a part of my past growing up. So this is something that also eventually led me into YouTube and gaming, and I thought that's something really cool. But I've also had a friend several years ago on YouTube, I remember finding out that he skates, and it was really awesome sort of just seeing him put a video up and stuff, and we made sort of this little sort of like semi-serious but joke at the same time, like if I ever do a Q&A, he'll ask me a question like, did you used to skate or something like that, and then I could then respond to that in my Q&A and put like some video footage of skateboarding. But we were just talking recently and I thought, you know, screw it, I'll make a video and talk about my past growing up skateboarding and snowboarding and put some footage in this too. So at the end of it, I've got like a nice 2-minute montage or so of me skating growing up. But basically, yeah, when I was about 14, I moved from the city to a very small country town on the beach. Beautiful, luxurious area, but super far away from anything, and there were no game stores there, maybe like a little Toys R Us where they just had some SingStar at the back and stuff. No one had consoles, so basically it wasn't something that anyone did that I could talk to about all the games I grew up playing, all the RPGs and stuff, all the Nintendo games I used to play with people down the street when I was in the city. So I basically, because of that, I eventually stopped gaming and watching anime. I sort of ran out of games to play, I ran out of animes, and then I started discovering a lot of new things in my life that I was really enjoying a lot. It was a huge new lifestyle change going to a beach town, but I fell in love with the beach and sort of a lot of the sports and stuff that I did there growing up. I used to do a lot of incredible sports. I won't go into details on those, they can all be for other stories, but skating was something I picked up, and it was just because this kid that I knew at school at the time, he went to one of his friends' houses down the road from me, and they used to just put up like I'm just going to call this like a little sort of step, and they used to just ride over it with the skateboard and stuff like that. And I went down. I remember I couldn't get over it really well. Like I just kept falling off the skateboard, but I was getting this little like adrenaline kick, and I wanted to get a skateboard just so I could sort of do that and learn to ollie and stuff, because I remember growing up always wanting to be able to ollie one day, because I used to just go down my street like sitting down a skateboard, and if I try any of those things, I couldn't do any of that. And then the whole fascination with like the kickflip and stuff, and so it was interesting because it started out just from this one day with this kid I knew down the road, and then sort of maybe being like, I want to be able to do something like this so I could be better than him. But then I got a skateboard and all that disappeared because I just fell in love with it. And YouTube was something that was coming around then. So this is where sort of my connection to YouTube began. It began through skating because I used to watch videos on trick tips, how to ollie, how to kickflip and stuff like that. And next thing you know, I remember within a month I was getting an ollie like here, but then within 2 months, by fluke accident, just the right motions at the right time, I learnt to kickflip. Not kickflip, I learned to heel flip. And then through that, I remember landing my first heel flip things. It was this spark like, I'm not stopping this. And I kept seeing tricks, and I remember seeing some tricks people doing on YouTube. I was like, I'm gonna learn that one day. And it just sprouted from there. We ended up getting our Rotary Club ended up building a skate park next to my school. It was mad fun, and my school was also walking distance from the beach too, so it was just incredible like school to be at, both during and after school. It was an awesome school. But that aside, I could always go skating after school as long as I made it to the bus on time, and when I got a car then I could eventually just like drive to school and then skate until it got dark and then go home. And then a year after skating I moved to Europe, and I did school there for some time, and I did 2 winter seasons there. And my first season of winter there, I really wanted to snowboard because I had the opportunity to, and I was a skater, and I did, and I fell in love with that too, like so much. And actually to this day, I definitely feel that I became better at snowboarding by the time I finished both sports than I did at skateboarding. I hadn't done it as much as skateboarding, but I just improved so much so fast that by the end of it I was doing front flips, I was doing 360s 3 different types of ways, I was doing a 180 all 4 different ways, so that's whether you're in normal stance or you're in switch stance, all these different things. Oh man, I used to just plow through the forest. I used every jump that I could get, half pipe, rails. I loved it so much. So that was something I would do in the winter time, and then during all the rest of the seasons, I'd go with my friends throughout the towns, and we just skate. And I remember in Switzerland they opened up like the biggest skate park or something when I was there. Me and my mates, we all went there and we skated on the opening. That was insane fun. But yeah, something that, you know, for I'm gonna say about 8 to 10 years, no, 8 years, I skated and snowboarded, and I loved it so much. I ended up going off to New Zealand for an awesome trip with a good group of people, and we all snowboarded across 4 different resorts and stuff. Then I went back to Europe again and did part of my uni there, and I went back to the snow. I just loved it so much. I didn't bring my skateboard that time because eventually my life turned a bit upside down when I screwed up one day, and that was not long after I got back from my New Zealand trip snowboarding. I was out skating with a friend, and I was just trying something a bit not ambitious. It's something I could do, something I landed, but I landed it on a ledge that was too heavily waxed, and because of that my board slipped off just like I was landing on ice, and I stuck so bad that I dislocated my elbow the moment I hit the ground, and it was traumatic. I won't relive that on camera, just because that was just, I hate thinking about that, and I hate sharing that because I know it's just gruesome. But the elbow didn't recover naturally, which was a shame. I still kept skateboarding, but it got to just my elbow, the way it was affecting my life. Luckily it was my left arm because I'm right-handed, so I could do like riding and everything normally, and I could still eventually do things, but my elbow was just popping out. So I eventually found a surgeon who very clearly determined what the problem was, and that was that I needed an elbow reconstruction. So that's what ended up happening. So I had that back in 2015, and it was not long before then that my time skating and snowboarding ended, at least until now. Skateboarding is something I probably won't ever revisit because, one, that's where that traumatic injury happened. Two, concrete is a lot harder than snow. I mean, ice can beg to differ, but snow per se. And you know, it was a very long recovery. It was a very expensive recovery. Now I can do so much. The surgery really changed my life for the better in ways. But it was a scary thing to go through, and when afterwards you have other responsibilities come into your life, like studies, work, a lot of things, it changes like your value on what an injury can mean. One, to those parts of your life, like, you know, financially and all the things that you're trying to pursue, but three, like the rest of your life. It can, for some people, certain injuries have serious long-term implications. So it was something that I had my time and I absolutely loved it. But when I was recovering from my elbow reconstruction, for the first year of that, where I was really learning to move my arm again and get my range of motion back and stuff, and it was grueling work. But I was watching a lot of YouTube videos on a lot of gamers on YouTube and stuff, and I was watching a lot of anime because I couldn't really do too much. Obviously I had to give up skating and stuff, so I couldn't do those things, and I eventually, because of my elbow dislocation stuff, it was after that that I actually started playing games again. So it was much later on, when I was basically, you know, in this recovery mode, that I started playing games again and really enjoying them. It was just re-sparking a lifelong interest. Anime I'd picked up a few years prior while I was at uni, but yeah, I was really loving it, and watching people on YouTube talk about games was so invigorating because I didn't know anyone in my town who played any games or anything, because I'd moved back when I had the surgery. So this was this outlet where I could watch and listen to people, but even then I still couldn't talk to anyone because at the time my Gmail account, it wasn't set up in a way that would even allow me to comment on people's videos. So I had to create some sort of like a subset of an account, which ended up becoming my YouTube channel. But basically it was just me as a viewer really seeing all these people share their stories and not being able to talk about it myself. But then through that, developing this huge, insane drive and interest in wanting to be able to share my stories with people and actually talk to people, socialize. And that's the main thing about what I do. My channel is me, and it's me talking about some of the things that I love in my life. Some things that I love so much in my life. Obviously you can't talk about everything all in one go especially, but I'm able to tap into an interest of mine and share it as me and really get to know people through it, and through both not just their interest in it, but then through, you know, through their life and a lot of other things. I've met so many great people through this, and it's really changed a lot, but it's all because of what happened with my injury that led me to where I am, and not knowing anyone prior growing up that also sort of contributed to this, wanting to come online and talk. And you know, YouTube for me is not just about being able to socialize and share my stories and stuff. It's also about, at least since the release of .hackgu last Rico, it became about me wanting to help inform people, provide them information and knowledge on things so they may have the best informed decision as to whether they want to get a game or just to learn about something, because that was the first time I started covering game news per se. It was all leading up to the release of that game, because that series was my childhood growing up. I love that so much. And that's its own many videos for other times, some of which I've talked about a lot in previous videos. But yeah, that led me to where I am now. You know, obviously I'm much healthier now. I'm doing all my push-ups and all my exercises and stuff. But skating is something, and snowboarding are things that I have to leave in the past. Snowboarding, actually, I don't want to say I have to leave in the past. That's something I definitely feel like I will return to in some form one day. I won't be doing all my 360s and all my front flips and stuff, but I will be going through the powder, but I'll do it safely, you know. But skating is something I have to let go of. So, you know, it was an awesome experience, and one I just thought I might share in brief. If I wanted to talk about everything, I'd be here for like 50 hours. So this is just sort of a brief snippet of parts of my journey, sort of growing up on the beach coast, skating all the time, snowboarding in the winter when I was in Europe and stuff, and just really having an awesome time and improving and learning a lot of new things along the way. So yeah, that's just sort of a brief thing, and a huge thank you to everyone, you know, who are here chatting to me and getting to know me, and vice versa. You know, it's a huge honor to really get to know, you know, a lot of you, and in different ways, and learn different things about your lives and even your perspectives on things that I talk about, because it helps shapes my perspective on certain things too, because I'm seeing things from other people's angles. Even just seeing people's enjoyment in things helps me then discover things, and all it takes is, like this whole video is discovering something or rediscovering something can really shape where your life takes you, you know, in various different ways and various different levels. But being open to that, I think, really allows you to then sort of, I guess, learn a lot. And through learning a lot, you then go out and discover a lot too. And it's an awesome loop. So yeah, thank you so much for that. So I'll leave you off with some awesome footage, hopefully. I don't have any snowboarding footage, unfortunately. We didn't really have any GoPros or anything when I used to snowboard, and we didn't want to risk accidentally breaking stuff. But skateboarding, yeah, some people had their phones out and stuff, so I don't really have like the best stuff that I used to do, but I've just got some stuff along the way. So anyways, I'll leave you to my skateboarding montage. I hope you've enjoyed everything I've sort of chatted about now. Let me know some interests you may have in life that are sort of outside or maybe separate to gaming, or maybe even related in some form, even if it's through some little link or something there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you'll enjoy the footage to come, and until next video, stay spot on.